All right. Yep. Just a little progress of what's going on with my Nova Blast. So, as you can tell, I got the U4 Nova Blast. I wanted that one on purpose because I wanted the squared off marquee. Little progress on it. First off, I did some latency tests. I did a video of it. I meant to do one. I thought I was recording when I did the one for my arcade board. I got a Dungeons Dragons Tower of Doom CPS2 board. I thought I was recording, but I realized after sitting there for 5 minutes talking and explaining, I realized I didn't record. I don't feel like doing it again. But playing with it, playing with the arcade board, I didn't really notice any lag, anything noticeable. It played just fine to me. I wasn't too bothered with it. I'm no pro player, but it seemed fine to me. And then one of my cousin's kids, we were sitting there playing with it for a good hour or so, playing the game, and we enjoyed ourselves too. We got tired of playing after a while and started getting sleepy. So, but so far, I'm not too disappointed with my purchase, mainly because I've seen all the videos over the last couple of months of people and their issues with it. So I expect I haven't had any really no bad damage. Really, the only thing I complain about is it's a little corner in the back with a little crack in the metal, and makes the back plate, the door that comes off so you can see the control panels and stuff, doesn't really sit right. But that's one of the things nobody's going to see. I'm not going to nitpick. Granted, for the price, they should have really did some better control. On one hand, what can you expect from stuff that come from China sometimes? This come from China. I've seen all the videos. These, they have a warehouse or two here where they store them at, but at the end of the day, all this stuff come from China. Not an excuse for bad quality. But, seeing all these other YouTubers that had issues with theirs or what they came across or what they did and didn't like, only thing I kept hope when I bought mine, I keep my fingers crossed that, hey, I won't have any bad dents or anything. So far I didn't have anything, though I still got this gash right here in the screen. They contacted me. They said once they get some more in stock, they will notify me to send me another monitor. After going back and forth over a month since I first bought it, like from the second week I bought it, not the second week, but the first week I bought this thing, got it put together, and I noticed it. It took them a month to finally say, okay, we'll replace it. So I'll shoot them an email just to nudge, hey, have you guys got any more in stock? Just to make sure they know. And I'll tag it to the same emails we already done. But other than that, I'm satisfied with it. I like it. I like the fact it's a candy cab that I can sit down and really play. Don't get me wrong, I'm a classic stand-up arcade machine person. That's what I grew up with. But it's something about these candy cabs where you can actually sit, relax, and play. And, it's not like an American arcade where you feel like, oh, let me get off so somebody else can get on. That's what it feel like. As far as alterations, I replaced the control pad, as you could obviously tell. I had a place, there's a metal fabrication shop around my way where I got them to trace the panel. They cut me one. It's a little off. I had to trim some off a little bit because it was a little too wide, and I had to trim this corner around here so it fit. But outside of that, it managed to fit. I replaced the buttons with ones that I've already had on my old arcade machine, my stand-up, that I got from Ultimart, which are RGB buttons. If I can find some Sumitsus or Sanwas that had RGB, trust me, I will get those instead. But I couldn't find any like that, so I'll stick with these, and until that day I find some, I'll if I find some that are reasonably priced, I should say, I will get with those and sell these off. I put a little trackball in here because, you know, this is a main machine, and I like to play some of these trackball games like Marble Madness and Mystical Man and stuff like that. Not to mention when I use this if I have to use it in PC mode to fix stuff, this makes it easier to go around instead of using my keyboard if I'm just doing something simple what I can use the mouse for. Other little flourishes I did was I drilled a little tiny button hole for a little button right here for the mouse control. So that way I can use the trackball here and for mouse. But when I'm playing games, I got the regular buttons for that. So when I'm in Windows and gotta move some menus, like, or for example, if I gotta fix something in Launchbox, I got that. Volumes working just fine. Definitely, if you're using a PC or whatever device you're using has its own headphone jack out, use that and plug it into the 3.5 millimeter on this. Do not use from the monitor to this because you will have a whole lot of static. You have a static whine that goes on. And even worse, if you plug in the jammer audio into the unit 2, you'll get a bunch of noise and static from that. So that's something else to think about. If you're not planning on putting any jammer board in there, don't bother plugging in it. But if you, like some people, want to switch between their jammer and a 3.5 millimeter, yeah, you can get some noise. Now, if you plan on just using jammer, don't use the 3.5 millimeter. Use the jammer plug that's on it. I'll show that in a minute. Other than that, let's see. The other little thing was like some of this. I don't know if it just faded off, but that's no big deal. I can get some paint to touch that up. But it was a little crack when I first got it. I saw that little crack right here. Once again, I replaced the buttons. I just got some plain white buttons for these to pop light up. I had a Ultimate IO, but I ended up replacing that for their pack 64 light controller because it was a lot smaller. I'm not going to take this apart to show it, but if you want to see one of those, you look at it, and all the light controls plugged up to that with LED blinky. I went and got a 14.5 inch monitor and mounted it up here for the marquee. That's one reason why I got with the U4 instead. A lot of people wanted the U2 because of the fact that it is rounded on the top to look like a candy, you know, traditional candy cab like Astro City, something like that. But when I saw this model, I already knew what I wanted to do was put a screen in here for the marquee. I like it. Some people might not care too much about it, but that's me. I like that because I wanted to be like, so, like, as you can see, while a game is playing, the marquee's up here changes depending on whatever game is playing. I like it. So let's see. You can see I got it on demo mode right now playing. Added a button here to start it up, but I'm about to change the button because several times I played, my knee hit this button and turned it off, and at that point I'm like, forget it. I don't want to play anymore. Turn it off. Another thing I did was I used one of the screw hole buttons right here, screw holes. I wind it up to put another button here to act as player 2's coin mechanism. Player 1 still worked, but I got this one for player 2 and also the service button. So, you know, you depending on what ROM you use, if you push this button, it'll add credits to it, like the arcade operator will have a hidden button there, unlock, push it to add credits to it. But I want to leave it so this still works for one player, but I can still put coins in, you know. It's just me, because I want to be able to, you know, mess with people. Like, oh, I got to put a quarter in? Yeah, you got to put a quarter in. As long as they don't notice that little button right there. That's just me being sneaky, but, you know, it works. Let's see. Let me give you a tour around the back. All right, this is the tour around back. I don't know if I showed you in the other previous video, but here, what I've done. Oh, why am I holding this thing straight up? Sorry, people. I don't know what I was thinking. I just realized I got the video holding straight up, but that's all right. One of the few things I did was I replaced the fans with fans from Thermalite cheap 3-pack, like 12 to $17, depending on, you know, what time of day you get it from Amazon. And they're pretty quiet. These are on. If I stay quiet. How convenient to stop making noise while I'm doing this, but I'm glad. One of the things they did is took the plate right here, which I think one of the videos they say they got the setup so you can mount two of these together to use as a pass-through area. You know, like how some of the candy cabs are in Japan or other places where it's a single-player cabinet or a two-player for, you know, you put two cabinets together for multiplayer. But what I did was I put USB ports on the back and a network jack, so that way if I, you know, plug it, it's Wi-Fi on here, but I got a network jack, so that way if I ever have to do any, you know, moving ROMs or download ROMs, this is a lot faster for Wi-Fi. Like I said, I put RGB lights on here. These are controlled from the motherboard. I didn't really want to change them. I just have them so they'll, you know, pulsate and change color like that, which I like. It's nice when it, you know, when it's dark. You know, you can imagine, like, say, like now it's dark, you can see these in the back of a on a wall or something like that reflecting. But thought it was nice. All right, this is the back. This is the part I was talking about. I might have showed it in my last video, but that's the only big issue I had outside of the screen, and then how this doesn't sit right. So this is kind of bent, but I'm not gonna mess with it because I don't want to make it worse. Let's open this up. As you can see, this is my Dungeons & Dragons CPS2 board. Take that out. Like I mentioned in my last video, I put an infinity key on it. That's what it's called, the infinity key, because the suicide battery died on me, so it suicided on me. All right, now I'll leave these plugged in because, hey, if I ever decide to get another jammer board, or every once in a while I want to play the real arcade game, I got it right here. Slide this out. All right. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. This is for the jammer. You plug that in here for your jammer sound. If I be quiet, let's see if I can hear the buzz. Damn noise.
Heart attack. Primary control.
Oh God.
8-way joystick.
I forgot I activated it. Well, okay. Prove me wrong. No buzz. Because at first it was making a buzz sound when I was plugged in. No, you know why? No, that's because I don't have the audio cable plugged up here. It was plugged up in here, and you had this, you'll hear a loud buzz. I put one of these on here just to isolate some of the noise. But I'm gonna unplug it. You know what? If it's not making noise, I ain't gonna mess with it. Here's a couple of things I did on the back of this one. As you can see, these are the cables. What I did was I took the original cables that was plugged into the fans and just tethered them to the fans here. And the RGB, I've got an extension cable for the RGB plugged into the. Oh. Oh, you know what? Let me just turn it down. That'd be easier. All right, sorry about that. The power board, like I mentioned before in my previous video, the power board, I had the wires right here that's going to the marquee, the power the light were reversed on the marquee end. So when I reversed them, the light started working, because when I plugged it in, it shut everything down on here other than the power to the monitor. So when I unplugged the marquee, I figured, oh, that was the case. And then when I took it out of the plug and swapped the wires, it worked just fine. Right here, I used, this cable is going to the marquee that's powering it up. So, you know, it's just a USB to USB-C plug, works up. This one is a mini HDMI to HDMI cable going to the PC at the bottom. One of the things, I wish they would have gave you an extra cable, an extra one of these. Like, if they did, I didn't get one. But as you can see, like, this is player 1's coin, this going to the coin door, and this is player 2, which I'm assuming if they ever make another model where either like a cable that like this reaches all the way to the second player, so like say if you got 2 machines back to back, that's what I'm assuming, and like some way to split the video and controls to the other, like say this is the main cabinet with player 1 and 2 and the other one player 3 or 4 or however it's done, so that way all this wire together. Don't know, but that's what I'm using it for. Actually, I wish they sold this board separately, or I hope they plan to sell this board separately, because this would be nice for anybody that decide they want to make their own MAME, MAMEcade, or their own arcade machine, and for the simple fact you have output, you got CGA output right here, and and a CGA output here. CGA input here and output here. And like say if you decide plug one of these up into a CGA to VGA cable, if if you can't find a monitor box that plugs directly into this. But just the fact that it outputs JAMA and also outputs to a USB to a PC control like this, I mean, I would love to have this. So that way, if you wanted to make your own arcade machine, you'd be able to output to either or, which I hope maybe one day they decide to sell. I mean, DIYers will probably buy this thing up. I damn sure would if I saw this beforehand. Other gripe is I wish these were a little longer. That's only because when I was trying to put this thing together, put it in there, putting the buttons in, I had to keep it right on, risking scratching up the finish on the arcade panel. If you don't know, these are, was it 2048 or whatever the name, I forget the name brand of these, but these are the Pico boards. Hold on, let me look it up real quick. All right, just looked it up. It is a Sky 2040 Pico board. That's what it is, Sky 2040 Pico board. And I gotta set in X input mode, mainly because I have a couple of Steam games, PC games on here, on this PC. There's no slouch PC, so I got it where I got Soul Calibur 6, Tekken 7 and 8 on here, Mortal Kombat's 9, 10, 11, and 1 on here to play. And some of those titles, especially ones that aren't Steam, for example, I got Scott Pilgrim vs. the World I was playing on this, does not, I got it from Epic Games, because I think it was free at one time from Epic Games, so I bought it from Epic Games because Epic Games had it first before it went to a year later went to the other platforms. But I also have other games that are like Ninja Turtles. The latest Ninja Turtles game came out a couple years ago. I got that for free on Epic, but it does not like direct input. That would not work. So these, which is excellent, these go into X input, so it looks like an Xbox 360 controller when you plug these in. That's one of the things I love, so that way I know it'll work. I wish Steam gave away more free games so that way I can use the Steam controls, because Steam controls are chef's kiss great when you it don't matter what game, Steam will convert it to work with the controller at any time, which I like a lot. Don't know if you can see that in here, but that is, it's like a jungle back here. I need to do some stuff back here, but I don't know if you can see. Let me move that down. But right here in the back, not risking shocking myself either. Can't really see it. I'm pointing to it. But that is the Ultimark Pack 64 LED controller right there. I went with that because this thing kept getting confused with the Ultimate IO plugged in, so it kept thinking all of them were 360 controllers. And so I went in, I sold that and turned around and bought this one because I just wanted the light. Plus, it's a lot smaller board, so I don't have to worry about it getting in the way. I got double sided stick, Velcro holding it down. Whereas with the other one, I ended up drilling the holes to mount it, and I was like, no, this is ridiculous. Plus, it kept messing up my controls. So, let's see. Trying to think of some other things. I'm be honest with you. I love the product. I love the product a lot. Ooh, why the hell I got lint on my face? I love it. I like it. Because my expectation was anything that I didn't like, I know I can fix. For someone that just wanted to be able to plug and play and, don't worry about anything, yeah, this is not for you. Granted, this is not really a plug and play type of device either. It's not like an arcade 1-up or these X arcades where you roll it in, plug it up, the game's already there. This is something where you got to get your hands dirty. If you're not ready to get your hands dirty to set it up, even if it was all in immaculate condition, if you're not ready to set up the, put your board in, to put your PC into work, this is not for you. Or if you want to be able to say, hey, I want to, fix some things up to make it mine, not just use it as stock, make it mine. This is a perfect, almost, it would be almost plug and play. It's almost plug and play, but the quality issues are what drag it down. And if you're not prepared for the quality issues or having your mind that I'm gonna fix these things, or I got an idea how to fix these things, I would say don't buy this. Hopefully another company will come out and say, hey, we're gonna make our own candy cab. I was kind of mad at last year's Taipei Expo, whatever, the Tech Expo. Asus had a commercial where a guy was playing on a candy cab and then stretched it out and made it into 2 candy cabs. You gotta look up the video. And everybody was like, oh, they plan on making a candy cab? I'm looking it up. Other people I've seen were looking it up, kind of find out it was talking about their double monitor or some dual screen thing, and they were using it as an anagram for, why not have one? We have double. Like, don't tease us like that. Because Asus, you made a candy cab. Trust me, we'll all be lining up like Fry with our hands out of money, say, hey, take our money. But outside of this, I have to honestly say, if you're not prepared to do some work, do some research, and see what other people have said about this, and knowing in your head that, hey, I know I got to fix some things. Unfortunately, buying one of these Nova Blast is kind of like buying a fixer-upper house. Sure, you can buy it as is, live in it as it is, but then, yeah, you can do that, but then you eventually realize there's some stuff that need to be fixed. This is shit. Think of the Nova Blast right now with the quality issues. This is a fixer-upper. I'm waiting. I would love to see when Amazon actually starts carrying these, because if Amazon starts getting a lot of complaints about, hey, we have customers complaining about this is messed up, that's messed up, then maybe they'll put the fire underneath Unico to say, hey, let's fix our issues with quality control. Because I'm sure Amazon's not going to play that after a while, because they lose money when they got to continually take returns, especially on something this bulky that comes in 2 boxes, this bulky, this heavy, that's this expensive to ship. Amazon's not going to play with that. So they need to fix on the quality control. However they handle it. Like I said in my other video, when I bought this, it was raining. There was no straps over top of the box to hold it together. A part of that was on UPS. Part of it was on UPS, but majority of it was on Unico. They should have put straps. I've seen some videos where they show straps on it. Mine didn't have straps on it. So the people from UPS put it upside down on the wet ground Luckily, I had a dolly. I picked it up and brought it in the house. I got the notification while I was at work. Took off for lunch. Hurried up, brought it in the house, and then went back to work. And when I got off, I put it together. But outside of that, I would say, let's see, some things I would like to change on here would definitely be this power supply. I would like to see this. I would like to see this unit, if they're going to set it up where you can use a PC on it, they need to set it up where, how I did, you got a button that, for example, like make a button sit somewhere else that's made just to turn the PC off and on, and then have a plug where it stays constantly on, so that way you can shut the PC down, and then you can hit the switch right here to turn the monitor and everything off. What I did is, hold on, I'll show you. All right, flipped it back around. Let's see, I'll show you what I did for, as far as what I did for power. What I did was I got one of these little special outlets that has a master, that when the master's on, it cuts all the other outlets on, and when it turns off, it cuts all those off. There is a constant that stays constant, is that red one, but I don't have anything plugged in because I want the monitors and everything to turn off. As you see, this is my PC. Got a 60 12 gig in here. So it's a 9th gen Core i7 that I had. It was my home theater PC till I upgraded it and decided to make it my arcade machine. And my old arcade parts, I gave that away to someone else, that PC. As you can tell, no noise. I wired my buttons. I put the buttons up here, put a little piece of Velcro right here, the buttons for the monitor. One of my complaints about the monitor, I have to say this. One of my complaints about the monitor, it is not truly a 1440 by 1080. What I mean by that is the monitor doesn't see itself at that size. What you have to do is tell Windows to change it over to 16 by 9. From 16 by 9 to 1440, but then you got to adjust the screen to fit it in. Like I had to adjust the screen to squish it on in, so it's not really still see. Even though I have Windows set to 1440 by 1080, the screen still sees itself as 1920 by 1080. So I have to fix this to squeeze it in. The messed up part about that is, if you like, say you switch between two different inputs. Like say if you switching between PC mode, using the HDMI and switching to CGA, then you gotta go back and readjust the video for CGA and stretch it and fit it back out. Which that should be the controller board should remember, like, okay, if you're on the HDMI input, these are your settings. If you're on CGA, these are your settings. Like the other thing I don't like is on the back of the screen, the 3 knobs to adjust color don't work on HDMI. That's only for CGA, which is understandable, but it'd be nice because I think the color is a little off. It's a little pinkish, light reddish to me compared to the red up here. Like you can see these two fonts, how this is a little lighter red compared to the actual dark red of this. Let me think of a game marquee that all of us may have seen before in real life. I'll go with Ninja Turtles. Let me pull that up real quick. We'll do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So let me hit that. Granted, that's the side art and that's the marquee, and well, that's not a very good example, but we'll use this. As you can see, the green is a little lighter compared to up here. Granted, these, the marquee looks like it was a lit marquee somebody took a picture of, but still the color's a little off, a little too pinkish for me. Light red, pinkish, but it's something I can live with. Unfortunately, the color adjustments are garbage on this monitor. Somebody pointed out in one of my comments on the other video about another monitor that looked nice and looked like it was fitting in this thing perfect. But when I saw the cost of that damn thing, I was like, nah. Now, if it was about $300, not $900, yeah, I will go with it. But for what it's worth, it's fine. When you use it in, which I think they really designed this more of for somebody with a jammer. If you think about this thing is just a giant super gun, a giant 5-foot super gun with the monitor attached to it. And you can adjust the colors on the back when you're on, when you're using the jammer harness. You can adjust the colors on the back to get it just right. Especially if you know how to fiddle with it and got an actual color card that you can match it up. I'm sure it would be great. That's my only nitpicks. I wish this was a 2-player coin, but I've seen, most of them are just 1-player coin, or like some of them, the coin is up here. I think those are the Vulix cabinets, while the Sega ones are down here at the bottom. Can't complain too much. Like I said, I got my little button right here, my Hadaway button, so nobody knows. Shh, don't tell nobody about it. But outside of that, I'm loving the cabinet. I like it. I'm gonna miss my 6-foot one, but I like being able to sit down and relax and enjoy it. Honestly, I'm thinking about making this my main gaming machine. Take this out and put my 7900 XTX in here and use this to game on. To actually game on. Actually game on it with other games outside of just arcade games, because it don't bother me too much. I'll show you. It doesn't bother me too much if you play PC games. Let's see. Let's go to Scott Pilgrim. I'll just use this one for example. Come on, Scott. Where you at? Like, I'll use Scott Pilgrim. So that's funny. The light is right there on his face. Oh gosh. This is one reason why I said I wanted the keyboard. I'm gonna tell it no, because it just want to open this up and then want to connect online. Come on. That's one of the agitating things about PC gaming. All these launchers everywhere. No. Come on. No. One more time so you can just start the game up. Ubisoft fixed this shit. Excuse my language. Everybody else, other than play Phantasy Star Online 2, everything else, I don't need everything I play. I don't need the admin rights to play. Why this one I need admin rights for y'all to connect? That should have been handled when I first installed it. Once again, these controls are in there we go. Start. Are in X input mode. This don't bother me so much. Some people might be bothered by the black bars up and down when you're doing PC games. There are a few games that use the whole screen. I think Ultra Street Fighter 4 will use the whole. It has a 4x3 mode, and Tekken versus Street Fighter versus Tekken has a 4x3 mode. But still, 16:9 on this 4x3 don't bother me any. It doesn't bother me. It would have been nice if, like, say they did had a mode where you go into settings. Hold on. Oh, nope, they don't have a video mode control. But once again, it don't bother me any. Fix up. Let's see. Let's go Soul Calibur. Yeah. See, get rid of this. This is irritating right here. That's why I'm glad I put this button up here with the Not to mention Microsoft. Can you make a gamer mode, actual Xbox edition of Windows, so you can use controls to control everything? That would be nice. That'd be great. Thank you. Please and thank you. That's my little gripe. Soul Calibur. I'll show you Soul Calibur, what Soul Calibur looks like. Oh boy. I really do need to trim these games. Let me turn this down. So I'm sorry, people. SO. We really need to trim this game list down. But then what do I get to play? That's the thing. When you have the abundance of choice, it feels like you choose nothing. Because you have too much choice that it becomes unbearable. All right, there we go. Soul Calibur 4.
Soul Calibur 6.
Soul Calibur 6, excuse me.
Horizontal attack. Vertical attack. Kick. Guard. Start game. Primary control. 8-way joystick.
That's the other issue about this thing. There we go. Another PC game that I got set up on here. I had to change the resolution down so that way it'll fit in a 4x3. As you can see, another modern-ish game where it fits in a 4x3. You still gonna have the black bars up and down. Which honestly, like I said, doesn't bother me. For some other people, it'll bother them. Let me go ahead and get out of this. But so far, once again, other than my nitpicks and the things I think they need to fix, especially quality control, if you buy one of these or thinking about it, just go through whatever. There's not many videos of people talking about this thing, which this is a great product in theory. But the execution, I would say, product in theory, I give it an A plus. A plus all day. I love the design. I love this whole setup. At one time, I thought about making one out of wood, but I'm like, I didn't feel like going through all that trouble, to make one, make my own out of wood. But product execution, I give it a C minus. They really need to work on the quality control. There's some things I feel like could be fixed on. A lot of things need to be fixed. Mainly the quality control to make sure nothing's bent, nothing's damaged, everything's there, it's working properly. Nothing's missing that's supposed to be there. Everything's plugged in. If anything, like say the inside should have came with styrofoam pads to hold everything in place. This screen the screen plexiglass should not be tight on here. It should have been loose to keep, because being tight caused this to break and some of this paint to chip off down here, which, like I said, this is no big deal. I got black spray paint. That's done. Same thing on this side. Spray paint that, done. I'm out. But that shouldn't be a crack right there. Right there. I'm not not crying too much about the plexiglass, because I can go get another sheet, cut it myself, do the screw holes, and call it a day and be just fine. If it came to that. Or I can go to a glass shop and get an actual piece of glass done and piece of glass laminated. All those nitpicks, the biggest thing, I think they should have made it where they should have made one constant outlet, one plug that's constantly on to allow you to turn this off, or at least, if anything, the switch that's on the back, when you press the rocker button, it should be set where some way, if you decide to put a PC in it, you have a button to cut it off. Because most people might not think of, let me add a button here. What they think of is, let me open this panel, let me push the button on my computer, or go to the panel back here, up here, or whatever, turn it on. Most people are not going to think, let me make a button right here. Which this is a perfect spot for. It's out of the way, other than, I made this little accident and push that, turn the system off. Because they really did design this to be a giant super gun. That's what I feel. It's been designed as a giant super gun, not really something you put your PC in to play with. That just happened to be the side effect of having a big monitor with HDMI on the back. Unless you're one of the ones with a Pandora's box, or you just happen to have a whole lot of jammer boards here, or converter kits that, old school games to jammer the plug in there. PC was a second thought. That's how I feel. The PC was a second thought. I think what they did, I think what this is a case of we got a product that we're trying to sell to people that still got arcade, still got arcades that, if you got extra boards, you could put them in this. If you could put them in this, but let's sell it to people at home too. But the concept is great. Execution can use some work. If you do decide to buy one of these, do your research. Listen to other YouTubers, Reddit, anywhere you can get information on this and see what people think. Me personally, I would say wait and buy. I would say if you want to buy this, know this is a project and just be careful and stay on these people if you have any issues with stuff. Stay on them. Outside of that, I knew what I was planning on doing with the control panel, the buttons, the PC, getting things set up, the marquee, getting everything set up so I can have it the way I want it to be. That's my 2 cents, my 50 minutes worth of 2 cents. But like I said, would I buy this again? Me personally? Yes, I would. I would buy this again. Because once again, I knew what I was thinking. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew, especially after researching it and seeing what other people are going through. Other videos like, I want to say Rotund Arcade, Neon Bitch, and a few others that I watched, and then went on Reddit, seeing some people do their reviews, and a couple other guys on like 19K or Fox 19K or whatever. A lot of these people seeing was it 8-bit guy, whatever their arcade center they have. They did a assembly, and watching all these things, I have to say honestly, like the product, it's still a work in progress. And hopefully the people from Unico are listening and watching all these videos that are here about this unit and tighten up on the workmanship, tighten up on that, tighten up on getting back with customers, because this is not cheap. If this was like a $200-300, even if it was a $200-300 item, it's still a case of you don't do your customers like that. You don't make them wait a long time for stuff. But for it to be over a G, 1,500 to get the whole thing with the stools, you guys need to work a lot better with that. So hopefully the people from the company are watching videos of people talking about it, looking up Reddit and all this other stuff, and say, hey, look, these are the common things that people complain about. Let's see if we can fix this up. So hopefully if you decide to get one, you have a way better experience than what a lot of people like. People early in me had a bad experience, and then when I got to it, mine was not too bad. So hopefully when you get to you are like, oh, I'm good. That's the biggest thing. So hopefully you enjoy. If you get one, enjoy it. I like it. Like I said, I knew what to expect. And I got lucky and didn't get a beat up one in the mail. So hopefully you enjoy, good peoples. I might post some other videos about this thing. Maybe in a couple of months from now, I'll post up on my thoughts and feelings of it. See if it changed, anything like that. But yeah, do some research before you pull that trigger. All right, good peoples. Have a good one.